And now they're discovering what it's like. I will never cease, and I hope this is true, I mean never cease to thank God for Bethlehem Baptist Church as a place to raise my children. I gave thanks to God all through their little years, their teen years, and as they moved on out, I thanked God because my boys on vacation wanted to come home to go to church. What an amazing thing. Now, amazingly, by another grace, we're raising a daughter. We, unlike so many, get a chance to do it all over again. The parents of 12-year-olds in this church are the age of my children, or at least I am old enough to be the father of the parents of the people who have children my daughter's age. If that makes any sense to you at all. This is a most remarkable thing. I can hang out with other parents and they're young enough to be my children. And the sweet thing about it is it just keeps me right in the thick of the youth ministry. And I get a chance to do it, I hope, better with Talitha than with my experimental boys. That's number 2. Number 3, I tremble at the thought that our church might have it ever said of us this. This is Judges chapter 2, verse 10. And all that generation also were gathered to their fathers. And there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord or work that he had done in Israel. How can that happen? The real simple explanation for how that can happen. The parents didn't tell them. Didn't tell them about the Exodus. Didn't tell them about the Jordan River crossing. Didn't go out to the stone pile. Say, see that stone pile? Let me tell you what that means. They didn't do it. They just were carried away with the culture into which they had been given by God. I don't want that to happen. I would like very much for our church to work hard. You know, you can read, I'm not going to give you the statistics because they vary all over the place, but they're bad no matter where you look. At the number of evangelical kids who, when they're done with their 18 years in the church, are gone. They're gone. They're gone from the church. Huge numbers. What's that? What is going on there? And so you try every kind of rah-rah program in a book to keep them. It never works. Rah-rah programs keep them for 18 years under their parents' thumb, and then they're gone. So that's number 3. I would like us to be a church that goes far deeper than that in the prayer and the hope that our kids will not abandon the faith. It's not infallible. There's no program. There's no system. There's no nothing except the grace of God that's going to hold on to our kids. So I'm not laying anything on you. You know I can't from where I stand. Number 4. God is doing unusual things in our day among young people. I want to be a part of it. We want to harness all the good impulses of grace that are part of this awakening. I brought along this little book here to show you an example of what I mean. This just came out last week. Alex and Brett Harris. Now, it's their dad. They wrote this book. These are 2 19-year-olds. They're 19 now. Their dad will be the speaker in 4 weeks, Greg Harris. And they started when they were 16 a website called The Revolution. and it's designed for teenagers, and the theme is simply do hard things, a teenage rebellion against low expectations. That'd be the summary of my message right there. A rebellion against low expectations for teenagers. Almost all of us in church have too low expectations for our young people. And they're trying to turn that around. And let me read you how the first page of the book begins. Most people don't expect you, directing this to their teen peers, most people don't expect you to understand what we're going to tell you in this book. And even if you understand, they don't expect you to care. And even if you care, they don't expect you to do anything about it. And even if you do something about it, they don't expect it to last. Well, we do. And we do. It's those low expectations. It's parents who expect rotten teenagers who probably get them. So I think we have some things to learn from each other here, those who've done this better than others of us. Would you turn with me to 1 Timothy chapter 4? Those are my 4 personal reasons for why I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing right now. 1 Timothy chapter 4. I'm only going to focus on one verse, verse 12. I'll begin with the verse. I'll make about 4 comments on it briefly, and then I'm going to step back and get the big biblical sweep of the meaning of youth and where we're going, I hope. Here's the verse. 1 Timothy 4:12. Let no one despise you or for your youth or despise your youth, but set the believers an example in speech and conduct, in love and faith, in purity. Observation number 1. Youth is often looked down on because of attitudes and behaviors that are annoying or immature. Here are a few. 1, disrespect. 2, rebellion. 3, self-absorption. 4, cliquishness. 5, conformity to peer pressure. 6, indifference to serious issues. 7, fixation on fun as the only thing that satisfies. Now, if those things are pronounced, youth can be despised. And Paul admits that there is a despising of youth. And his way of dealing with it is not to talk to the despisers, but to Timothy. Number 2, second observation. Paul is telling Timothy not to be indifferent to the attitude of adults toward him. Don't let them despise you in your youth. He's putting this on Timothy. Strange, huh? Don't let them do that. Seems to imply there's something Timothy could do about it. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in purity. In other words, Timothy, do what you can do. Do what you can do to keep this from happening. Care about what they think. Third observation. The way he tells Timothy to overcome the being despised that's coming at him is not to adjust to their attitudes. He does not say this: let no one despise you for your youth, but find out what they want and act that way. That's not what he says. This is not man-pleasing going on. This is not parent-pleasing. This is not church leadership pleasing going on here. What does he say? He's saying that peaceful relationships between you and adults isn't absolute. I'm not telling you, find out their desires and do that.